Good morning, people. Welcome to this stream today on the Streamyard channel. This is the first time I've actually ever streamed to the Streamyard channel, so this is going to be a bit of an adventure today. Let me know how I sound. Let me know how things look. You know me, I'm always like, hey, if it's not, the mic sounds good, do I look good? Does the hair look good? Let's talk about what's important here. Right? I'm seeing some really good familiar faces there in the chat. My friend Paul Cyclone Sid, good to see you. It's good to see Danny Hatcher out there. My friend Marlon from White Noise Studio. Nice to see you guys here. Hey, listen, the reason I really wanted to do a stream here today is to talk to you guys about live streaming in terms of how you can use it to grow your channel and the right ways to do it. I know that a lot of you guys out there on my own channel, we've talked about how to make better content in order to grow your YouTube channel. We've done a lot of different things in my own private memberships group, where we've talked about strategies and how to grow your channel faster. But one thing we don't talk about as much is how to use live streams to actually grow your community and grow your channel faster and do them properly. And they're a huge part of the way that I grow my own channel. And I've never really spent a lot of time talking about it. And I was like, this is a perfect way to do it. The good people at Streamyard said, hey, Daniel, why don't you come on board and join our team with Nick Nimmin and Dee Nimmin and Roberto Blake and Ross Brand, Desiree Martinez. There's just so many wonderful people here that I was like, this is great. I love it. I'm in. Count me in. So listen, there we go. John Pullum says, Doug Hewson sent you. They sent you here. Doug is awesome. I'm a huge Doug Hewson fan. Glad to have you here. Listen, I want to talk to you about some of the basics of live streaming. Live streaming is one of those things that I can remember the very first time I live streamed. And I remember setting up the camera, and I had to download I think the first time I used Streamlabs OBS, right? And I had had to learn the software, and I had to learn how to connect it, and it was like so scary. It was ridiculously scary because there's this whole thing of setting it up and you don't know if it works right. And then if you click like the go live button, you're just maybe live, maybe not live. There's a whole learning process of how to actually live stream in a way that's effective for your channel and connects with that target audience you're trying to reach. So some of those things I wanted to talk to you about today. Nadia, you look amazing. Well, thank you. I do my best. I film stuff. I'm just putting that out there. That's why I look amazing. Because I've learned how to try to put the camera in a certain angle so I don't look disgusting. I haven't got it totally dialed in yet, but I'm working on it. I hope you all have your coffee or Kentucky bourbon with you this morning. I do. And let's jump right into this and let's talk about some of the things that I want you guys to think about, whether you're already live streaming or you never have before. One of the very first things you have to do that I want you to understand is when you jump into live streaming, there's this thing where you push the button and you go live. And I think there's this natural instinct to sort of wait and see if people show up and if they're actually watching and looking at the chat and doing all those things. But to make yourself feel comfortable, like, can I go now? Am I connected? And it's one of the worst things you can do, especially if you're building a live stream for replay, because that whole kind of pause and awkwardness at the beginning can be really problematic if someone's watching that live stream on the replay and it pops up and there's all this mess at the beginning. You can edit your videos, your live stream in YouTube and slice off some of that beginning stuff. But what happens when you do that is you lose all of the chat. It's one of those things that just, I don't want to call it a glitch, but it's one of the ways that YouTube works is if you slice any portion of your live stream in, using the YouTube software built in to the editing features, you lose all your live chat. So you can't watch a live chat replay if you wanted to. So it's one of those things you really, if you can, you want to try to dial in the ability that once you hit that live button, that you're ready to start delivering content to the people who are there to see the content while you're doing it live, but also people who might want to watch this in the replay. And a good way to do that, let me point this out. When you do live streams, you don't have to go live public. You can actually set your live streams to go to private so that you can actually practice live streaming. This is a really cool feature. Nick Nimmin taught me this trick. When I first started live streaming, I'm like, I'm so scared. He's like, hey, set it for private. Nobody will see it. You'll go live, but it's only live to your channel that no one can see. And you can practice, do some of the things that you think might work, check out, your style, your sound, your look. and then you can watch your own live stream replay that no one else ever saw, and you can start going, oh, okay, my mic could probably use a little tweaking. Maybe I can play with my my video a little bit to make it better. Oh, now I know that long pause when I started was too long. I shouldn't have done that. And learning some of the steps along the way, you can be your own critique and practice a bunch of times. And once you get good at it, after you've done it 3 or 4 times and it went out to nobody, you can go, all right, I'm going to take the plunge. I'm gonna go live, and I'm gonna see if this works out to connect with people in real time when you put that video in that live stream public. And it's scary. I'll tell you, it's scary. But you have to remember that it's really no different than filming content. You're talking to people out there that are on the other end that you're just trying to connect with and present them with some sort of value. That's one of the biggest things that I want to talk to you guys about. When you're trying to create a live stream, especially one that might help grow your channel, you want to think of it as content on your channel. It's not just a way to go live and reach out and say, oh, look who's in the chat. Let me say hi to Little Crafty Nook and talk to all the people here. That's great. I love the people that are here that I can talk to. But the other thing is you have to remember, if this gets replayed and you're trying to get views right after it's done and YouTube processes it and puts it back up, if I sat here and spent the entire time just talking to people in the chat without providing value to not only you, but then the people who are watching in the replay, then this live stream, people come in and they start watching the replay and go, oh, I guess you had to be there. And that's the worst feeling in the world. If people feel like, oh, this was only really for people who were there at the time, then that live stream isn't going to drive the kind of views in the replay that it could if you built it a little more intentionally, right? Built it with some intention of what that stream was supposed to do. So let's think about that. When you build a live stream, you really want to treat it a lot like a video, right? You want to think about the topic. I call it packaging. We talk about this a lot on my own channel, packaging. Think about the topic, what that stream is going to be about. This particular stream today, we're talking about live streaming and tips for live streaming, right? So that's the topic. I worked really hard on the title, how to build a better live stream, right? We're trying to talk about how do you do this and provide value to the audience so that they'll learn something here that they may not already know about live streaming and rethink about the way that you come to a live stream and get yourself prepared for it. So there was my title. And then I spent a lot of time on the thumbnail. Did you see the thumbnail? It's kind of goofy. It's kind of goofy, but I did have it. It was like a goofy play on a live stream and water. I thought it was fun. But I spent a lot of time working because I think like imagery and packaging is super important. Just putting a kind of a junky thumbnail and, and a title that's like join me live doesn't really do anything afterwards for the replay. It doesn't do a lot for you guys even showing up in the chat. It doesn't provide the kind of value where you go, well, why am I here? What am I learning? What's the point of being here today? Because the most important thing for anybody, the thing that you're asking from them is their time. So if you're going to take people's time, make sure you're giving something back. So when you start building out these streams, before you've ever gone live, think about the packaging, the topic, the title, and the thumbnail the exact same way that you would if you were actually making an edited piece of content for your channel. That way, when it goes live, it'll have a lot more value in the replay and have a better chance of actually getting the views and keeping people watching, just like any other piece of content on your channel. One of the things I like to do is I create a bullet point script, right? So instead of just coming here and talking and hopefully remembering all the things that I want to talk about, I like to go in and actually create a script so that if I'm here talking to you guys in the chat room, Eric, speaking of whiskey, there's Eric. Hi, Eric. I like to have things scripted out so that I don't have to have an entire script that I'm reading from, but bullet points in order of this sort of, the overview of what I'd like to talk to people about in that stream. And you should think about that. Like, what's the value you're going to provide? What are the subsections of the topic? And what are specific things that you say, I want to make sure I talk about this. I want to make sure I cover these other points that are important to the thing I'm trying to present to people. Like in here, I made sure that I made notes that says talking about how to build your stream and using making a good title and making a strong thumbnail. I actually have those in bullet points that I can refer to remind myself, don't forget to, mention to people these things. And there's a really easy way to do that, and it's using a thing called Google Drive. Have you guys ever used Google Drive? Tell me in the chat if you've used Google Drive. Hi, Pia. Tell me in the chat to say yes or no if you've ever used Google Drive before. Let me see if I can share my screen over on this side here. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Google Drive is any one of you who has ever, if you have a YouTube channel, that means you've created a Google account. And in your Google account, you can actually you get a free Google Drive that has up to like 15 gigs of storage. I've expanded mine because I use it up too quickly. But you can actually use Google Drive to create these documents. Like right here, I actually have this document that's outlining what I want to cover here today. And that's super important because if I do that ahead of time when I'm talking to you, I can just look up and go, oh, there's these, make sure you don't forget to mention this, talk about this first, and then move on to these other subjects. And having that structure makes it really easy to make a strong piece of content that provides value. One big, you use extensively. You use extensively Google Drive. Yeah, it's fantastic and it's free. It comes with 15 gigs of storage with your Google account, so it's right there and allows you to create things like scripts, so that you can do that. A great thing, like a lot of you know that I do a show with another one of the Streamyard crew here, Mr. D. Nimmin. We have a show on the TubeBuddy channel, and we actually use Google Drive to create a script. And what we'll do is we give each other access to it, and we can both edit it. So as we have ideas, we add things in, and it can be, we don't have to be sitting at the same time. Like we build an outline, and we'll kind of brain dump into it so that we can collaborate and put all our ideas in. And then add to this thing and build it together. And it's one of the easiest ways to do things, especially if you're in different time zones with people you want to collaborate or work with or have other people in your stream. Really good way to do that. If you're going to have a guest in your stream, which is something that Streamyard does, makes super simple to do. If you want to give that person an idea of what you might be talking about so that if you're interviewing them or talking about things and you go, hey, listen, I just want to send this to you so you have an idea of what we'll be talking about before we get into the stream so they can be prepared, because maybe there's something they want to bring to the conversation like, oh, I wish I knew you were going to ask me that because I would have, brought this slide along with me or this graphic or this thing that I wanted to show people. So having a Google document that really outlines the script and the bullet points of what you're going to do can be important across the boards, not only for you as a live streamer and content creator, but for anyone else who might be involved with that stream. Does that make sense? I do that all the time. It's one of my favorite things to do. But it's not just doing a script. I also want to talk to you about a lot of times it's like, if you notice, like this is a fairly decent, relaxed chat room. I can look over, I can see things. I can see my friend Pam Duffy. Hey Pam, how you doing? And I can watch some of the things that are happening in there. But sometimes that chat gets going so fast that it's impossible to stay up with the things that are being said in the chat. Questions will be asked and people feel ignored. And it gets really, really tricky because you can't keep up quick enough because you're also trying to watch your script and present your actual live stream and bring elements in. And sometimes you miss stuff. So one of the things you can do is to actually use Google Drive to create a questionnaire document that you can pin as a link down in the description of that particular live stream, or you can even send it out ahead of time if you're letting people know that you're going to live stream tomorrow or in a few hours. You can also post that anywhere and say, oh, hey, here's a questionnaire. If you have any questions you want to ask me, go ahead and start putting those questions in now, so that actually they'll make sure their questions are in. And the people who put their questions in first will get their questions answered first. But it also allows you to take a peek at some of those questions ahead of time. And you can start thinking about, oh, you know what would be really good for helping answer that question? I can pull this one thing up or one aspect or an image, or maybe I need to pull up a piece of data to help answer this question. If you do that, it makes it easier to have that interactive experience. So you're more prepared as a creator to answer the kind of questions that are going to come at you during your live stream. And that's another super simple thing. I'm actually going to do a video on either my channel or probably for the Streamyard channel that's going to cover how to do this in more detail. I'm going to show you quickly right now, but I'm going to show you how to set up a questionnaire. But I'll show you really quickly. If you go into Google Drive and up in the upper left, you see where it says New. If you click on that and go down to Google Forms and click on Forms, it opens this up and you can create the name of the form. You can put in the kinds of questions that you want to put, like put a question in like, enter your channel URL here. You don't want it to be multiple choice. Maybe you want it to be a short answer. And you can say, oh, that's cool, right? And now I want to add another question. And maybe the next question is something like, ask your question here and make sure you give them a little more to run with. And then you've created this form and you'll see it says questions, but from your end, you'll actually see responses too. So anytime someone fills this out and hits enter, you'll get a list as a creator to see the responses. And then, and to share that, you just click the send button and there's a link up here and it gives you this link that you can share, and you can even shorten it by clicking that shorten button, copy it, and then you can send that out anywhere you want in the description of your upcoming live stream out beforehand, and people can fill out this form. And now you have a questionnaire doc that you can even really modify and get images in it, make it fancier, the color scheme, the way, get your own picture in there and really brand it. But then you have a questionnaire in hand using the stuff that comes free with Google Drive with your Google account to really make something special. And it allows you to get ahead of that game again. So that's a super important way to really make things simple, just by using some of the stuff that's already available to you, right? Google Drive is amazing. It has all kinds of great ways to share things. I use Google Drive a lot. For anybody who's a who uses Gmail, which comes free if you have a Google account, a lot of times I'll have big video files that I want to email to somebody, and we've all tried using things like Dropbox, I'm sure. So, but sometimes people go like, I can't email it, the file's too big. Well, with Google, if you try to email somebody like a big video that's got a lot of data, what Google does is it sends it, if it's bigger than can be sent just via email, it'll take that huge video file and pop it up into the Google Drive and send that person a link so they can just download it from your Google Drive. So it's really cool intermediary. A lot of times when I do collaborations with people that are far away from me, I'll film my part and go, hey, here's the part that I filmed, and I'll send it up to Google Drive, just send them an email, and I'll just actually send them an email, connect the video. Google does all the work and goes, this file is too big to send as an email. We're going to put it up onto your drive and then send it as a link. The person gets the email and boom, they can go, oh, I can download this now. Perfect. I don't have to, if it exceeded my email capacity, Google Drive is like a big 15 gig storage that you can expand to. You can pay a few bucks, and I've got mine up to maybe 100 gig, just because sometimes I send a lot of data. But that's a really great way to use Google Drive. And create questions and be able to enable editing so that you can have other people interact with these pieces of your live stream before you've even ever live streamed. I mean, that's like having your homework done before you ever hit, go live. So that bit of homework is fantastic for really thinking about, I'm going to do this right. I don't have editing on my side, right? Because we're live. So I can't just edit this like I would a piece of content where if I make a mistake, I can't just take it out and stuff. I gotta, I'll just take that part out. You have to roll with it. So making sure you have a lot of this homework done. I'm a big fan of doing homework. Do the homework first and get things ready. That way, when you actually do go live, you're prepared. And it actually looks like, wow, this stream actually kind of makes sense. It's flowing. I'm getting value from it. It's something that I'm learning. And people can take things away from that live stream that they go, I learned. This wasn't just some live stream where he talked to people. He actually provided value, or she, depending on who you are. I don't want to be sexist. Shout out to the ladies. That you can actually provide value to people. Please do a tutorial. I will do a tutorial on that. I'm going to have that, and that will be up either on my channel or the Streamyard channel, but I'll make sure wherever it ends up, I will post that link on my own community tab and make sure everybody knows where that is, and I'll get into some depth about how to really use the Google Drive to create those questionnaires and documents that you can go like, oh, this is really easy if someone just shows you which buttons to push to make it simple and create those links. I will definitely do that. And when I do, I'll make sure I link it in this live stream or in the down below in the description once it's done so you can find it, all right? One of the things I think that you should also think about is what Streamyard can actually do for making your first live streaming experience easier. Like I said, when I first started, I was using all this software and downloading it. It was so tricky. I've got Stream Decks on my desk, and there was buttons, and I have all this tech that cost me money, and to create scenes and change things was really hard. And I've had things happen where my streams just collapsed, but not because I did anything wrong, but an internet connection was weird, or I got booted off of YouTube and it just ended my stream. One of the things I love about Streamyard is it's a web-based service. So I actually log into their website here, and I'm working on my stream, and I set it up to go live, and then it goes live from the Streamyard servers right to whichever YouTube channel or Facebook account or Twitter or LinkedIn, which you can all do at the same time, which is really cool with Streamyard. This allows you to do it safely. If I got booted offline right now, this stream wouldn't end. I could log back in. I've actually had this happen. Comcast kicked me off. I'm gone. The screen kind of goes like this, goes blank for a minute, like what happened? And then I log back in, I come back, and I'm like, I didn't lose the stream. But when I used to do that using different apps and software on my computer, if it got disconnected, that was it. Stream would end. It would just end, and it would be like stream is over, and it would go on to a new thing. So using StreamYard allows you to have more stability to the platform. And down below in the description, there's a link that you can actually start using StreamYard for free today. You can start practicing and learning how to use it, and you can use it today to go live on your own channel. It's got some basic functionality. It does all the things you're kind of seeing here. You see that I have the StreamYard, powered by StreamYard, up in the corner. There's an overlay that comes up there. You're allowed to add some text down below. You can screen share like I was doing. You can do these kind of layouts. And if you actually pay for, one of the licenses, and you actually do one of the plans, you start getting some of the more advanced features where you can do some other things, like you can change the branding that goes on here. There's a lot of very simple changes you can do. Like if you look right over, where am I? Right here. Like see my name, I can put danielbatal.com. I can do some changes to the way that looks, to the way it brands out. I could say, okay, well, I want it a little bit bigger. You can do things like, well, that's kind of got this color in the background right here, right? Maybe I want that Daniel Batal to match the red or more pink, I should say. Pink, red, let's get red. In the background, you can change the colors for that, which is really kind of cool. You have full control over some of these branding elements to really bring the look into play. And when you get a license, you can actually change, like up in the corner, you can put your own logos up there. But it allows you to do cool things like create these overlays. Like that's my thumbnail. There's the thumbnail overlay. I can turn right back on. I use that often for if there's graphics. So if I want to visually show something like, oh, I have a couple of data charts that I want to show, I'll bring them in as overlays. And when I talk about them, I can go, oh, I can show that right here, or I can show that as a shared screen. So if there was something over like I just did, I was trying to show you how to use the Google Drive to create these docs. I can share that from the other screen. I can put myself on the screen. I can change the layout with one click of a button, and I can be in here smaller while showing you that. I can change it so I'm a little larger. In StreamYard, it's a click of a button, and it's all right in the software to change this layout to get this sort of professional look. I can add anybody into the stream very easily just by sending out an invite code. This comes with, when I'm logged in, it says, oh, would you like to invite somebody? You click on it, it creates like a link, and anybody I wanted to invite, they just click on the link, and it puts them, like, when they log in, I see them down below this window waiting, and then I can just add them in. And they can come in, and anyone I want, we can start doing collaborations right from StreamYard. So that ability to do all those things we've talked about, and then incorporating some of these StreamYard features, makes it really easy to get to go live and actually have a professional look to your stream right off the bat. There's really some really cool things you can do here too. Like StreamYard itself allows you to, if you actually have the pro version, you can actually do countdowns. Like you can put in a video clip. You can insert an entire video clip. Like here's a countdown that you could use that's stock to start your stream. That's pretty cool, right? But you can upload your own videos. I told you guys I do a show with Dean Inman called the D and Daniel Show, or the Daniel and D Show, depending on Who you ask? But we actually made an intro and an outro, and we upload it, and it plays the intro and it plays the song, and it mutes our mics while it's playing. So it's a really cool way to look really super professional. So you can make your own video clips, intros, outros, or even something during the middle if you wanted to do a segment. You can drop these, just click on the video, and StreamYard takes you out of the scene, mutes your microphones, and plays that video that allows you to put in really cool segments to break up that visual look. And it can go up to 100 megs, and the videos can be as long as 5 minutes in the pro version. So there's a lot of room to do really, really cool stuff and make those streams look really great. And it's just clickable buttons. It's all right there. It's nothing difficult. The learning curve on StreamYard is super simple. And you can do things like, if you noticed when I was doing my screen share, see how I have like water in the background? You can create different backgrounds, branded backgrounds, and change the look in the background so that you have this really cool look for the thing you're doing. A lot of times I'll do like in my members only group, we'll do like early morning, we'll have early morning streams where we talk about strategy, like over coffee, and I've got my coffee house look in the background, so that's kind of cool and fun to do. It's an easy way to create an atmosphere in your streams that would be really hard to do with other software. You'd actually have to sit and learn all this software, but StreamYard right now in the link below, down in the description, you can actually log in, create an account, and you can start streaming immediately and start trying out some of the basic features and learn how to do it and learn how to use it. Being able to stream to YouTube or to Facebook or to Twitter or to LinkedIn, or all at the same time. Imagine that, reaching all your different platform audiences simultaneously in one stream. StreamYard makes that like super simple. We love it so much. It literally made me stop using all my other expensive software because it made things so easy to follow along with. It's simplified. I'm a big fan of when things are simplified. Make it easy for me. I think channels should make it easy for the viewers to understand, and I want the things that I use to make it easy for me to understand, to learn how to live stream. I want to be able to go, okay, this is simple, this is easy, I can set it up really quickly, I connect it with my YouTube account with a few clicks of a button, putting in my URL, I click OK, and now it's like, oh, you want to create a new stream? Where would you like to stream to? YouTube. And then I can create a stream. And it's really that simple. And some of the other things that you can do in here is that, that StreamYard also gives the options to do things like, you can create a better banner. You can put a banner down below like this. I can actually put like the title and pop it up underneath and go, oh, that's cool, right? I'm going to actually put the title down below or any piece of information. And maybe I don't even want to do it. Maybe I want to do it like a ticker. Maybe I want it to stream underneath and keep moving back and forth across the screen. You can drop a ticker in here that just keeps pushing this thing through. This is a great run, and you can put people towards something that you might want them to know and remind them through your stream. Maybe you're trying to get people to subscribe to your channel, or maybe you've got the questionnaire that I was talking about building. You can put a ticker that says, hey, drop your questions in the questionnaire below, and the ticker will allow the stream to remind people so that you don't have to keep saying it all the way through your stream. Really simple functionality that makes live streaming easier. And the layout features in here are really fantastic too. I'm just a big fan of, you can do things like pull up comments and you can put them right on your screen using StreamYard. This is something that I think every one of you should give a shot. It's because they let you set up a StreamYard account for free and use it for free with a basic account. Definitely, if you have not used StreamYard before, go try it out, test it out. You can stream to your channel in private and then just take a look and go, let me test out the features. Let me learn it. Let me see what it is. And there's a ton of really great tutorials on this channel. If you are not subscribed, click down below right now. We're on the StreamYard channel. Please click the subscribe button because there's tons of great tutorials and you're going to keep seeing more from people like Roberto Blake, Nick Nimmin, D Nimmin, me, Desiree Martinez. You're going to see some from the CEO of the company, Gage. We're going to see stuff here that's really going to make it easy for you to use this software and have resources to understand how to use it. And this channel is also going to be covering things to help you grow as a YouTuber. One of the great things that I loved about when I was first talking to StreamYard is they said, listen, we don't want you to just talk about StreamYard and live streaming. We want you to talk to YouTubers about whatever you want to talk about, the things that will help them grow as YouTubers. And I went, count me in, count me in. This is the kind of thing count me into the thing that will let me talk to people and create a better experience on YouTube, not just use this software, try this website, which I'm telling you, try this website. You got to try StreamYard. It's really good. It's all we're using for live streaming now on all of the channels because it's so stable, because it's so simple, makes life easy. Can I talk about the best structure in a live stream for great flow? I did. Pixel Pia, she'd asked, that's a great question. Can you talk about the best structure in a live stream for great flow? I kind of did it right here in the stream. Let the people know right at the beginning what they're there for. I'm here to show people how to build a better live stream. I made sure I quickly said hi to people in the chat, but I went right into talking about structure of how to put together a better live stream. And I started with, if you've never live streamed, right? Start at the beginning. When you have any conversation, make sure you move through it. Like my structure for this particular live stream, I wanted to make sure I talked to you first about if you've never live streamed before. Here's some of the things you can do to practice. How to set up a live stream, build your thumbnail, build your title, build your topic. Make sure you have a bullet pointed script that you can use to get through that particular live stream that makes sense. You've got it written out. Use Google Docs to create forms that you can use to write those scripts and even create questionnaires for other people. You can actually use StreamYard to then use the functionality to make the stream look better once you've gotten to the point where you've built out the idea for it. So that's the way I built this stream here today. I wanted to make sure I moved in a linear fashion. So think about how you're talking to your target audience, people who will watch not only here, all you wonderful people in the chat, but people who are going to watch this in the replay and go, okay, I get it. I got what he said. I got those points. And one thing that I love doing too, live streams especially, if you've never done this, you can build chapters on YouTube. And what that is if you actually go in and you build a Word document and you put timestamps, starting with 0:00. If you write timestamps and put that in the description or in the pinned comment or both, it will actually create a chapters section for that video where people can click and it'll take them to those sections of the video. So later on, what I'll do when this stream is done, I'll go back in and say, okay, 0:00 intro. Okay, and then maybe at the 40-second mark, 0:40, I'll put another title in, and then it'll say, oh, this is where I started talking about if you've never live streamed, if it's your first time live streaming, right? And people can click that and get past the intro right to the point where I start talking about if you've never live streamed before. And I'll do that right through, break down the entire live stream in retrospect in the spots where I said, oh, and here's where I showed you how to use Google Drive to create a questionnaire. Maybe that's 15 minutes, in 15 seconds. I'll put in there how to use Google Drive to create a questionnaire. So you put that all in the description in the pinned comment, and it creates chapters that people can click, and it'll pop them right to that section of the live stream so that a half hour, 40-minute live stream, people can come back in the replay and get right to the spots that they might find interesting, right? Instead of going, oh my God, I got to watch this whole live stream. There was 3 things I was really wanting to know about. And, I'd like to think that I'm super entertaining, but having to sit through 40 minutes to get 1 or 2 questions answered is a lot easier if there's a chapter section underneath that you can click in the description and it brings you right to that section of the video. And if you start with 0:00 intro, that'll actually put the little hash marks on the timeline when you're looking at the video in replay. So in that timeline, it'll have all little hash marks. It'll be like, oh, there's one, there's another chapter, and it'll show it. So really, really super powerful things to do when you start setting up your live stream, okay? One other thing I really want to talk to you about is think about when we're saying that trying to get people to do something in that video, in that live stream, in the replay. Think about the call to action. If you noticed along this way, I'm really, really want you to use Google Drive to go start creating questionnaires and creating documents to build your scripts. So I'll actually tell you, hey, go to Google, drive.google.com, and you can actually start creating stuff in your own Google Drive if you're logged in to your Google account. If I want you to try StreamYard, I'll do a call to action. Hey, look, I've got a ticker down below saying try this for free at streamyard.com, and I got that link down in the description. These kinds of call to actions can be really important for your own channel. Even if things like along the way, I said, hey, listen, I'm going to do a deeper video that talks about how to really create these Google Docs, and I'll put it up in a card and I'll pin it down below so that if I have that chapter in later, I'll also have the link to get to the next video that I make that really goes into depth. So I can start linking this stuff out and make it easy for the viewer to get to the information that they really want and not waste time listening to me babble about something that they go, I kind of know that. I just wanted to know the other thing. Really making videos that are important to the viewer and the viewer experience is all of it. So listen, I want you to definitely go try StreamYard. Please, if you have not, log in, set up an account, get your YouTube channel or Facebook account or Twitter or LinkedIn tied to it and give it a shot and test it out. One last piece of advice I'm going to talk to you about. When you end your live streams, a lot of people make this mistake. This is something that StreamYard helps you with a lot. Because there's a delay between me talking and what you see on, in the stream. A lot of times what people will do is they'll say, I'll see you later, goodbye. And they end the stream, and it actually cuts the stream off early in the replay because they didn't allow for enough time for the stream to end. So my ending piece of advice is, one of the things StreamYard does is you can end the stream in StreamYard, but not end it quite yet in YouTube and then end it there afterwards. If you do it that way, where you're using both layers, that will allow you to stop having your ending cut. But the other thing you can think about if you're streaming from StreamYard directly to your channel, give yourself a second. When you say goodbye, when you say thank you for being here, if I look at all of you and say, hey, thank you, I really do appreciate you being here today, and I hope the information I've given you helps you. And if you have any questions, be sure to use the comment section below after the stream is over, and I'll answer any question that you guys have. But before you say goodbye, make sure you give it a moment and you don't just click away quickly. Make sure you do something like this and say, thank you so much for hanging out. I truly appreciate it. Please try StreamYard today, and I will catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace. I'm waiting. Peace.